Barcelona, Regal, one of the most decorated and talented professional basketball teams in Europe. That's who the Mavs will be playing this afternoon. And we thank you for joining us for Mavericks preseason basketball on NBA TV and on KTXA 21 with Derek Harper. I'm Mark Followell. Harp, we were excited to see what these new-look Mavs would appear to put on the floor and what they would have in that preseason opener against Alba Berlin on Saturday. They won 89-84, and the focus was on a lot of the new faces. Chris Kaman and Darren Collison were two of the new faces we were watching closely. They shared the team-leading scoring with 14 points apiece. Let's first talk about Kaman, who in addition to his 14 points, 12 of those came in the second half. He had 6 boards and 2 blocks.
Well, in what was a pretty sloppy game, I thought Chris Kaman clearly was one of the bright spots for the Dallas Mavericks. We know he can do that, face the basket, knock down outside shots. Here you see him again, catch and shoot situation, can do that. Here you see him putting the ball on the floor, really nifty around the basket. The Mavericks can use that kind of performance from a big guy, so hopefully that continues for the Mavericks. This guy, Darren Collison, was equally as good, I thought, in the game against Berlin. Did a solid job of running the team, finding open people, had 9 assists, and really played solid basketball for this Maverick team. We know he can do this. Stand up, knock down the outside, shot from the outside, underrated from an offensive standpoint as far as I'm concerned. Here you see him getting out in transition, and that's some of the stuff that we're going to have to get accustomed to seeing. This Maverick team on the fly with Collison finding a way to finish in transition.
You saw the numbers for Collison. Of his 14 points, 10 were in the first half. He had 9 assists, something that he did only 5 times last year. We'll give you more of the news coming in from Barcelona, including the fact that Dirk will be sitting out today as the Mavericks get ready to play FC Barcelona. It's Mavericks preseason basketball. The lineups and the tip-off are coming up next. As you see, the head coaches Rick Carlisle for Dallas and Xavier Pascual, 40 years old, in his 5th year as the head coach of FC Barcelona. You see them shaking hands. Harp, clearly you are definitely going to err on the side of caution when it comes to dealing with Dirk, especially in the second preseason game just 10 days after opening training camp.
Well, after all, Mark, he's your franchise. Dirk Nowitzki is. He's a guy that you don't have to worry about when you start talking about preseason. You know he's going to be ready. He's in a lot better condition this year than he was from the shortened season last year. So I expect Dirk to be ready. I think the Mavericks are doing the right thing and being a little bit cautious with him.
There's Sean Marion addressing the crowd.
Let's have some fun tonight. Here goes your man, Juan Carlos Navarro.
Bona nit, bona nit. Moltes gràcies per haver vingut aquí al Palau Sant Jordi i donar-nos el vostre suport. Per nosaltres és un orgull que avui ens acompanyeu i farem tot el possible per guanyar un altre cop a un equip NBA. Vale? Moltes gràcies. Una abraçada.
Sean Marion and Juan Carlos Navarro both addressing the crowd at Palau Sant Jordi. Juan Carlos Navarro, of course, is in his 15th year with FC Barcelona. He did have 1 year over in the NBA, 2007-2008. He played with Memphis and was an all-rookie second-team selection, averaging 11 points a game. But is back in Barcelona and has been now for several years and is part of one of the most decorated teams in Europe when it comes to pro basketball. They've won the Euroleague twice recently, 2003 and 2010. They have 17 Spanish League championships, including 3 out of the last 4 years. There are several names that folks who are familiar with NBA basketball will recognize in addition of Juan Carlos Navarro. You've got Nathan Jawai, who had a brief period of time, not in the regular season game, but with the Mavericks. Also, Sarinas Jassikavicius is with FC Barcelona now. And other players that have been drafted by NBA teams but have not played in the NBA. Erasm Lorbeck, who spent a brief amount of time, a season in Michigan State. Pete Michael, who played at the University of Cincinnati, was drafted by Dallas back in 2000 but has played mostly overseas in his professional career. And Ante Tomic from Croatia, draft pick of the Utah Jazz back in 2008. So this is a talented team, and FC Barcelona should give the Mavericks a good test. As a matter of fact, they've beaten the last 2 NBA teams that they've played in preseason games on their home floor. The Lakers 2 years ago and the 76ers back in 2006.
It'll be a good test for the Mavericks. It's a preseason game, of course, Mark, and you're looking at a lot of different lineups if you're Rick Carlisle and his staff. But with Dirk being out, with Roddy being out, I look for this team to really try and make the Mavericks feel what they're all about over in Barcelona.
89-84 again was the win for the Mavericks over Alba Berlin on Saturday afternoon. In that game, 14 points for Chris Kaman and Darren Collison. Also 14 points off the bench for Vince Carter. Darren Collison, as we noted earlier, had 9 assists.
Played well.
Yes. Only had 5 games last year of 9 or more assists. Had 3 double-doubles last season. To have that sort of assist performance in 35 minutes was quite impressive on Saturday.
I like what he brought to the table. He did a good job of running the team. Didn't try and do too much. And I think that's one of the things that a young point guard like Collison, being in a new situation, has to be cautious of, is not trying to do too much. Found a lot of open people, had the 9 assists that you talked about, and was really efficient scoring the basketball as well.
The starting lineup today for FC Barcelona, let's cover that very quickly. It looks like it will be from Brazil, Marcelinho at point guard. In the backcourt joining him will be Joe Ingles from Australia, number 20. Pete Michael at small forward, number 25. Erasm Lorbeck, Pete Michael is number 33, beg your pardon. Erasm Lorbeck, number 25 at the 4 spot. And Ante Tomic, 7'2", from Croatia. He's in the middle at center, number 44 for FC Barcelona. So we are underway with preseason basketball for the Mavericks on NBA TV and TXA 21. The hook shot attempted by Chris Kaman is missed.
Got him pretty deep that time, Mark. I look with Dirk being out for the Mavericks to really go to Chris a lot early in this game.
7 out of 9 was the shooting performance for Chris Kaman in the preseason opener against Alba Berlin on Saturday. Marcelinho passed up the shot. Lorbeck missed out of the corner.
Double dribble. Sean Marion got caught.
Well, we noted early in the game, that is on Saturday, that a lot of turnovers are to be expected when you're meshing new faces together. And the Mavericks had 27 turnovers on Saturday, but that is not a turnover that is brought about by meshing new faces together. Just an unforced error by Sean Marion.
And you just have to be ready to play. Somebody jumped in front of the passing lane where he wanted to go and got caught with the double dribble.
Ante Tomic badly missing on a pick and pop jumper. They've already played a couple of games in league play, FC Barcelona has. And Tomic is their leading scorer through 2 games, averaging 15 points a game. Pick and pop J. Elton Brand.
That's what you're going to see from Elton Brand. He's another solid catch and shoot guy. Mavericks run a lot of pick and rolls, so I look for him to be involved all year long in a lot of pick and rolls for Dallas.
To the basket, and a miss by Joe Ingles, the Australian who averaged 15 points a game for them in the Olympics this year in London. Pete Michael commits a foul as O.J. Mayo makes his way to the basket. So a minute 32 seconds gone by. For the first time today, free throws will be attempted. O.J. Mayo to shoot 2. After a quiet debut as a Maverick, 8 points, 4 assists, a couple of steals on Saturday in Berlin. He played 26 minutes. The only shots that he made were 3-pointers. He knocked down 2 out of 5 3-pointers. Only took 1 2-point try in the game on Saturday.
Well, he's still finding his way, Mark. He and Collison both, I think, with time will slowly start to develop into a pretty solid backcourt. You know, OJ can get to the free throw line because he's aggressive, putting the ball on the floor. The rest of it will come. Again, I just think it's important for these guys not to try and do too much too fast and take care of that basketball, because normally when you have a lot of turnovers, your guards are involved in it.
We noted earlier that Dirk's out today with a sore right knee. Roddy Beaubois also out for the Mavericks due to a left ankle sprain that he suffered on Saturday. They should have Brandon Wright available, though, today. Wright, his first season with Dallas last year, as a ball pinballs off the knee of Chris Kaman, and this is a 2-on-1 to the other end, and Joe Ingles lays it in with a foul. A quick follow-up with a point about Brandon Wright. He is out, was out Saturday due to a quad injury, but is expected to be available today. As you see, FC Barcelona get on the board in transition. Kaman fouls Joe Ingles, who made the hoop.
And that's what they want to do, Barcelona, that is, Mark, get out in transition. So, again, turning the basketball over will allow them easy opportunities in transition.
Joe Ingles is 25 years old, from Australia, 3rd year with FC Barcelona. He's competed twice in the Olympics for Australia. And top flight basketball in Australia, he was the Rookie of the Year in 2007.
Really comfortable on the offensive end as you see O.J. Mayo pull up and miss that shot.
Pete Michael got the rebound. And number 33, as you see Michael with the ball going into the lane and rattling it in to get FC Barcelona their first lead.
Very difficult shot, but a pretty solid shot.
Rock Island, Illinois. Pete Michael, 34 years old. Did play some minor league ball in the States before moving on to the Philippines and then spending a decade overseas, Greece, Russia, Spain, also played in Korea as well. Was drafted by Dallas in 2000. Pete Michael was last pick of the 2000 draft, but then was traded to the Knicks in a deal that also involved Donnell Harvey, who came over to the Mavs for a while, and Eric Strickland.
There you go.
Ante Tomic with the foul.
And Tomic's going to have a hard time trying to contain a guy like Kaman simply because he's not accustomed to being on the perimeter defending bigger guys. Kaman has that ability to stretch the floor as a big because he can shoot the ball from the outside.
78.5% of his free throws with New Orleans last year. Chris Kaman varies both of those. And the Mavs seesaw back in front here with about 3 minutes gone by. Tomic with the score for FC Barcelona.
Looks comfortable on that block.
Yes, sir.
Good. Nice turnaround basket that time by Tomic. Nice cut.
And to the basket, Darren Collison lays it in.
That's great basketball. Dean Smith would love that backdoor cut.
Collison had a very productive first half. 10 of his 14 points in the first half on Saturday against Berlin. Tomic missed the shot. And Chris Kaman there for the rebound. And Collison got tripped at center court. Kaman puts the ball on the floor, gets down deep against Ante Tomic and scores.
That's really versatile for a big guy to put the ball on the floor and be able to shoot that turnaround jump hook with the left hand that time.
Kaman back-to-back baskets, or 2 out of the last 3 baskets, I should say, for Dallas. 9-6 is the Mavs' edge. Free throws coming up here. Foul was called on Sean Marion for Dallas.
You can see Michael not really wanting to shoot the basketball, but really trying to attack the basket against Sean Marion, a pretty good defender in his own right, but not quite ready on that possession.
You know, I think it says a lot about Pete Michael. There are some challenges to trying to be willing to stay with it basketball-wise, even though you obviously want to play at the highest level, but the fact that he's carved out a nice career for himself in Europe. Again, we're talking about someone who left college in 2000 and has spent the better part of a dozen years playing overseas.
And Mark, that goes to show you where European basketball has come. Well, most guys want to be in the NBA, of course, but if you can't get there, nice pass for Elton Brand to score an easy basket. But if you can't make it here, then quite naturally, there's an opportunity for you to play overseas.
Elton Brand with a slam dunk, and the Mavs have that 3-point advantage now. Collison gambled, went for the steal, and you've got an open look for the Brazilian point guard Marcelinho, who missed on a 3-ball. Marcelinho Huertas is his name, but the Brazilian tradition, of course, is just to go with the first name, as Elton Brand has a half dozen points early on.
Playing pretty well, stepping in for the absence of Dirk Nowitzki. Love the experience that Elton Brand brings to the table. Comes from a great basketball program like Duke, really knows how to fill a role, which is what he's going to have to do here with the Dallas Mavericks.
Getting the start today because of Dirk being out with a sore right knee. And Brand, of course, comfortable in the starting role. Started every game that he played for Philadelphia, 60 games last year. Averaged 11 points and 7 boards.
I feel like it's going to be a good pickup with all of the experience that he brings to the table.
Post up, Sean Marion scores, and the lead is 7.
You can go there to Sean Marion on that block, Mark, and get great production. Not many guys in the NBA can match up against Sean Marion. Has a lot of tricks under the basket, uses the basket well, shoots a nice jump hook.
Mavs never led by more than 11 Saturday against Alba Berlin. They had a 7-point lead before that runner in the lane by Marcelinho for FC Barcelona.
Marcelinho, another one of those guys, Mark, that wants to get to the basket.
Darren Collison missed off the heel of the iron. Had a fast break. Marcelinho, nifty pass fake, then does dish. Corner 3.
That'll get him in palm right there. That was pretty nice. Nice creation.
Joe Ingles buries a 3. And Marcelinho scores and then assists on a 3. So FC Barcelona, after falling down 15-8, has pulled it within 2 of the Mavericks at a timeout. 15-13 is the advantage for the Mavericks over FC Barcelona, almost midway through the first quarter at Palau Sant Jordi in Barcelona. Deputy Commissioner Adam Silver of the NBA in the lower right section of the screen there among the dignitaries on hand.
David Stern's right-hand man.
There you go. Well, the Mavs obviously have been enjoying this first ever trip for preseason games to Europe. They're in Berlin, part of an NBA Cares event, and former Mav Peja Stojakovic was there. The guys had a great time Sunday at El Clasico, FC Barcelona and Real Madrid in soccer. You saw some of the sights and sounds there just a moment ago. The Mavericks dancers have been on the trip as well.
Detlef Schrempf in the house,
yes.
Ex-Maverick.
Peja's on the floor there as well. Peja part of the Mavericks 2011 championship team, and Detlef Schrempf, of course, drafted by the Mavericks in 1985, former teammate of yours, Harp, and spent 3 seasons there and was clearly Germany's greatest claim to fame basketball-wise until Swish 41 rolled him on.
Well, Detlef put Germany on the spot, to be perfectly honest with you. Went on to become an NBA All-Star and had a great NBA career. A better guy, I'll say, for Detlef Schrempf. Really a nice gentleman.
So early on, Elton Brand starting in place of Dirk, who's out with a sore right knee. Brand has 6 as the Mavs jumped out to a lead of as many as 7. But currently the advantage is 2 after Joe Ingles just knocked down a 3-pointer a moment ago. And Ingles is leading Barcelona with 5 points so far. Mavs will be back home to play the Houston Rockets in their next preseason game. They'll make the trip back from Barcelona tomorrow, expected to be back in to the Dallas area a little bit after dark tomorrow night. And then we'll be back at practice. That will be an interesting practice, I'm sure, on Thursday.
Glad I don't have to practice.
We'll be back at practice on Thursday, and then we'll play a home game in the preseason against the Rockets next Monday.
Yep, looking forward to that. Get the chance to see Jeremy Lin.
On the floor, Delonte West, also Brandon Wright. Chris Kaman and Darren Collison checked out for the Mavericks. And in the lane, Marko Todorovic for Barcelona, number 14 from Montenegro. He's in for the first time. Elton Brand backed him down but missed the shot. That's the first miss in 4 shot attempts for Elton Brand. Pete Michael, a tying basket attempt is no good. Tapped out by Dallas, but Barcelona controls the rebound.
One of the things Coach Carlisle was concerned about in this particular game, in game 1 against Berlin, they were out rebounding, a lot of long rebounds. The Mavericks didn't come up with it. Something they need to clean up this season progresses.
The handoff from Tomic to Joe Ingles. Ingles missed the shot, and you see O.J. Mayo get knocked to the deck by Pete Michael. Foul on Pete Michael for FC Barcelona.
He's been active.
You see the play where Mayo hits the floor. And Juan Carlos Navarro has subbed in now. Primetime is now in primetime on TXA 21. You can join Dion Primetime Sanders Monday night at the Fan Sports Show with Gina Miller, live from the Fan Sports Lounge, to talk about all the hot happenings with the Cowboys and the NFL. Don't miss it on the Fan Sports Show. Monday at 6:30, must be TXA 21. Vince Carter is in for Dallas. The runner off the glass is missed, but followed home by Todorovic. Young player from Montenegro. O.J. Mayo at the other end missed to the paint. Brandon Wright's follow was blocked by Ante Tomic. Barcelona was 7 in a row. They were looking for 10 in a row, but don't get it because of the Ingles missed 3. And Ante Tomic not in control coming down the lane, trying to get that tip in.
Well, Barcelona does a great job of passing the basketball after shot fakes. A lot of times you try to shoot over defense. It's not the right play. The right play is to put that ball down near the lane and find other open shooters. Good job of that.
Off the bench, Dominic Jones. Dominic Jones played 7 minutes for the Mavericks in the preseason opener on Saturday. Vince Carter with a nice move for a turnaround. Carter drilled 4 threes in Saturday's game. With one of 3 Mavericks to lead the way with 14 points. Marcelinho with the kick out. Juan Carlos Navarro missed a 3. Nowhere to go for Dominic Jones. And a bad pass.
Should have taken a shot.
Yeah.
Had a shot. That's another Maverick turnover, something Coach Carlisle alluded to after the game against Albert Berlin. Take care of that basketball.
4 turnovers now. As you see the replay, no question about that. Had a shot.
Had a shot. Could have gotten it off really easy.
A drive down the lane all the way to the basket and a foul. Xavi Rabaseda is on the floor, number 22 for Barcelona. He's the one who was fouled. A 23-year-old, 6'6", in his 3rd year with FC Barcelona. And Rabaseda sent to the free throw line. Nathan Jawai, number 32, he's on the floor now for FC Barcelona.
Wide body there.
Yes, sir.
He'll take up some room. One of the problems Dallas is having right now against Barcelona is not really knowing the personnel, not really knowing tendencies of players. These guys don't really want to shoot a lot of outside shots. If you notice, a lot of shot faking going on, putting the ball on the floor, trying to get to the basket, which is allowing them to get to the free throw line in this first quarter.
Dominic Jones on the dribble drive. Barcelona on an 8-0 run. The 1-2 trip a moment ago by Xavi Rabaseda, giving them the lead at 16-15. But Jones lowers his head, drives into the lane, and Todorovic and Nathan Jawai were both there.
Jawai, you can't miss.
Now, Dominic Jones played 7 minutes in the game on Saturday in Berlin. Most of the time that he got hurt was after Roddy Beaubois got hurt in the 3rd quarter. Beaubois came down on Albert Marias' foot. We'll see him roll his left ankle here. There's the play right there. Didn't get a great look at it, but you can clearly see, and you'll see it better here.
At it. Yeah, just came down and turned that left ankle. Thank God it wasn't really serious, because judging from right here, it looked like he was going to be out for a while, but he's out of the walking boot.
Yes. The word yesterday for Barcelona was that he was much improved. There's Jassikavicius, Sarunas Jassikavicius, 36 years old, longtime veteran of top-flight basketball in Europe. A couple of years in the NBA, a season and a half with the Indiana Pacers under Rick Carlisle. Shot clock violation is called here. It's Dallas ball.
It's a good defensive possession that time. Keeping them out of the lane, keeping Barcelona out of the lane. Pretty solid.
Looked like it touched the rim.
It did touch the rim.
Kamen is back in. Brand left the game a moment ago. And Kamen from Dominic Jones glides to the cup.
And that Dominic Jones is good at. Really finding that seam, getting in the lane, finding open people. That time a nice layoff to Kamen for an easy basket.
Half dozen points for both Kamen and Elton Brand to lead the way for Dallas. There's a kick ball. With that, there is a timeout on the floor. 2:38 left in the first quarter. Barcelona's had an 8-0 run, briefly took the lead with that basket by Kamen a moment ago. Has the Mavericks back out in basketball. They lead FC Barcelona 17-16, 2:38 left in the first quarter. Mark Followill, Derek Harper with the call on NBA TV and TXH 21. You can kick off another Mavs season at Mavs Toberfest, presented by our friends ESPN Dallas 103.3 and Fox Sports Southwest. Come out and see your Mavs in action at American Airlines Center coming up Saturday, October 13th. You can visit Mavs.com for more information and find out how you can win free autograph passes. There's Dirt not playing today due to a sore right knee. Swelled up on him just a little bit after practice yesterday. Elton Brand got the start today in place of Dirk. And the big man duo of Brand and Kamen have each contributed 6 points so far.
Well, let's not forget these guys were teammates, Mark, with the Clippers, doing a solid job of attacking the basket. There you see Elton Brand putting the ball on the floor. Chris Kamen has been equally as good using the left hand in the paint that time. A nice pass from Dominic Jones. Nice lay-in with the left hand. And Chris Kamen, Mark, to my surprise, does a lot of good things around the basket. He's a guy that not only can pick and pop, but he can pick and roll as well. So that makes him very valuable on the offensive end of the floor.
Lineup right now for Dallas. Dominic Jones and Delonte West to the backcourt. The front line is Vince Carter, Brandon Wright, and Chris Kaman. And a three-pointer is hit.
That's all off the dribble penetration.
With that, FC Barcelona regains the lead at 19-17. Kaman shooting a jumper for the tie and the soft bounce.
And the versatility of a big guy, the ability to put the ball on the floor, on the perimeter, really causes problems for other bigs.
Jassikavicius was fouled. Juan Carlos Navarro taking the ball out of bounds for Barcelona. Nathan Jawai, the big guy, setting the screen, rolling to the basket, and he finds a cutter, Todorovic, who's stuffed.
Kaman did a good job of getting in the right place.
Brandon Wright's shot rims out. First preseason action. Quad injury held Brandon Wright out of the opener Saturday in Berlin. Jassikavicius, the drop off, and Nathan Jawai with the rebound, or the score.
Jassikavicius can do that, Mark.
Oh,
He
yeah.
can make plays for other people. Did a lot of that with the Pacers.
Jassikavicius played with Indiana for a season and a half a year with Golden State.
Nifty as a point guard. Likes to run that pick and roll.
And there he is with a great pass on the lob. Looking for Rabaseda on the cut up the baseline, but he couldn't finish. Went for the 360 finish.
He was up, that's for sure.
Off-target pass. Kaman will plead for a deflection out of bounds by Barcelona.
While Dallas is trying to mesh things together, the biggest concern has to be the turnovers right now, Mark, after 2 games. And we saw in the game in Germany where they really turned it over at a high rate. And what you're doing is taking away possessions, which you can't afford to do in the NBA.
Number 30 on the floor for Dallas. First preseason action for Dante Jones. That's Dominique Jones. Able to save it in. Brandon Wright secures it. Dante Jones has it, drives it, has it blocked. Follow was missed by Chris Kaman. Another follow. 2 chippies inside, missed by Kaman.
He's right there. Doing a good job on the glass. Just needs to gather himself better to finish around the basket.
Shot clock is off here. And an offensive foul is called on Jawai.
Jawai set a moving screen that time, not quite set. An easy call for the officials. Here's a look at it. Pick and roll one time, and then you roll, and he's still moving.
Road grader trying to ply him out of the way.
It reminds you of a tractor trailer.
5.4 on the inbounds. Dominic Jones streaking to the other end. Will get all the way to the cup. And then there is a tip in at the buzzer by Brandon Wright. They will review it. The word is that it's being called good on the floor. So if it stands, it will be a 21-21 tie after the first quarter.
I'm going to say that it's not good. I didn't think he got it up.
I would actually concur with you on that. I would concur with you.
We're agreeing early in the season.
We'll see the review here in a moment, though.
It just looked like it was just a half a second late.
Let's see what we've got here. The shot was missed. No, that wasn't off the time.
The clock is dead. Easy call. I thought that the minute it happened, to be perfectly honest. Good effort, though, by Brandon Wright.
So 21-19 should be the score after the first quarter. Second quarter of the Mavericks' second preseason game is about to start. 21-19, Barcelona leads Dallas. An 8.8 rebound first quarter for Chris Kaman led Dallas. Also a 6-point first quarter for Elton Brand. Kaman is not on the floor, but Brand is. Brand replaced Kaman at the quarter break, as a matter of fact.
Both those guys really efficient on the offensive end.
3-point try missed by Juan Carlos Navarro. Rebound for Elton Brand. Jones on the drive. Brandon Wright doesn't finish. We've seen a couple of opportunities where Wright struggled inside early on.
Well, on that possession, the dribble was unnecessary. If he had gone straight up, I think he had a better opportunity of scoring the basket.
This is his first game action of the preseason and is out there after being limited in practice since the quad injury.
Right. Had a great year last year, I thought, for a new guy. It'd be interesting to see where he goes from there. Well, he's going to the bench from there. How about that?
And Jay Crowder's going in.
Yes.
Jay Crowder played 8 minutes, 2 points and 4 rebounds on Saturday in his debut with the Mavericks.
I like Crowder.
Committed the foul there on Todorovic.
It was an aggressive foul, though. He does everything full speed. And I think that's one of the things that Rick Carlisle and his staff likes about Crowder as a young player. Very aggressive and has that motor that coaches like to talk about that you can't buy. You either have it or you don't have it.
Crowder was the Big East Player of the Year last year at Marquette. Todorovic, ball poked away by Jay Crowder. Todorovic after the whistle. Jones went up. It was blocked by Rabaseda, but Todorovic had a lot to do with that turnover. Just took it right into Crowder, who poked the ball away.
Doesn't want to be made a poster.
Yeah.
In Barcelona. No way, Jose.
It caught Dirk's attention on the bench, if you'll notice.
Dirk is always all over that kind of stuff. Doesn't have anything else to do right now.
C.J. Wallace, number 18, is in the game for FC Barcelona. Played collegiately at Princeton. Bad looking miss there by Dominic Jones on the shot. Wallace lets it fly from long range. And Dante Jones with the rebound for the Mavs. He fakes the pass, scoops it in, and that is a foul on Wallace for Barcelona. The game is tied, and a 3-point play can give Dallas the lead.
Well, you have to like the attack by Jones in transition. Gets it deep. Defense a little bit late. He finishes and gets an and one opportunity. But there you see Jones showing you what he can do with minutes. So Dallas not in a bad spot with some of the experienced guys that they've brought in this year.
When I think Dante Jones, I think of an athletic finisher, not necessarily the one who creates his own opportunities to finish. He's going to be a guy who will finish off of a pass in transition.
Absolutely.
Think of a guy who can, think of a guy who can defend. A player who at times in his career has shown the ability to be a good spot-up shooter, but you look at his career three-point percentages, they've been very erratic. He's had years where he's been very good, years where he's been very poor.
And I think the reason is with that, Mark, is the fact that he doesn't get consistent minutes. You know, his minutes are sort of up and down as a player. He plays a role, but I think the good thing about Dante is that when his number is called, you don't have to worry about him being ready. He'll be ready to go and give you whatever he has.
Another three-pointer was hit by FC Barcelona. That was Juan Carlos Navarro with a sweet stroke from the outside. Delonte West missed a tying two-point try.
That's what Navarro does. He shoots that ball from deep. You got to find him when he's on the floor.
11 points a game in his one season in the NBA with the Memphis Grizzlies in 07-08.
There's Dante Jones giving you some of the intangibles that he brings to the game, taking that charge.
Yep.
Coaches need that. They like that. Those plays add up to wins for him. Just sacrificing his body, taking a charge, ball going the other way.
Drawing an off-the-ball charge
Yes.
in that situation. They were looking to pass it to Todorovic.
The difference in winning and losing are little things, not the big things all the time.
Darren Collison is back in, and off the handoff from Elton Brand, he'll drive and kick it to Dante Jones. Jones earns another trip to the free throw line, just completed a three-point play. Xavi Rabaseda fouls with 9:39 left in the second quarter.
Revisiting Dante Jones, here you see him, Mark, passed up the jump shot to go inside, not so comfortable on the perimeter, can shoot the ball okay from the outside, but a smart player, understands his game. Gets in the lane and gets to the free throw line. One thing about Duke players, guys that attend Duke University, they know how to play, Mark.
Sure.
Under Coach Krzyzewski, they could play the game, and once they find their role, they're going to play their role pretty well.
There is a clock adjustment being made as we speak as Dante Jones prepares for a trip to the free throw line. He shot a career best 83.8% on free throws in 65 games with the Pacers last year. All but 3 of them were coming off the bench.
Make free throws, you jinx him, but it's preseason.
Just working on the form a little bit.
Yeah, that's it.
5 points a game for Jones last year and 16 minutes a game. Vince Carter returning. Rick Carlisle taking Delonte West out. Juan Carlos Navarro back to the bench for FC Barcelona. Dante Jones on the free throw line in his 9th year from Duke. This will be his 5th team in the NBA. Memphis, Sacramento, Denver, Indiana, and now Dallas.
And I guarantee you, if you look at his numbers, Mark, his numbers are basically the same in all of those places. He's consistent in what he brings and what he does as a player as he picks up a technical foul for using that elbow just a little. Tough guy when I think that Dante Jones. Really physical.
Picking up a technical foul in the second quarter of an early preseason game. To speak to your point. Jones is 31 years old, native of Trenton, New Jersey. Started at Rutgers and then transferred and played 2 years at Duke. Jassikavicius shot the technical foul free throw and extends the Barca lead to 25-23. And a corner 3 is put up. Alex Abrinas missed that. And it's a run out the other way, and Carter jams from Darren Collison. Vince Carter with the rev it up slam dunk.
I like the play that Collison made that time, Mark. The only pass that would work in that situation was the bounce pass. Nice play by Darren Collison.
Tomic looking to go underneath the basket to Wallace, poked out of bounds by Dallas. So Vince Carter showed off the outside shooting, but here he is demonstrating he's still got some hops.
He has some hops. He'll always have a few hops. He'll be retired dunking for his kids as they get older.
We saw it a few times last year.
Yes, sir.
3-point try was missed by Alex Abrinas, number 10 for Barcelona, 19 years old. And in 2011, he was the MVP of the FIBA Europe Under-18 Championships. So promising young talent, getting a little bit of run here for Barcelona in the second quarter. At the point, Marcelinho is back in. Marcelinho has a tie to the Metroplex, by the way. Came over and attended high school outside of Dallas in Coppell for a year.
Didn't realize that.
A Coppell Cowboy. Timeout on the floor with that foul. 25 all, 8:29 left in the second quarter. Collison at FC Barcelona at Palau Sant Jordi as the Mavericks wrap up their NBA Europe Live 2012 tour. They played Alba Berlin on Saturday and won 89-84. We have that game on TXA 21 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And you can make an appointment for big laughs with the hit comedy Rules of Engagement on TXA 21 at 5 p.m. An hour of laughs starting with Rules of Engagement at 5, then King of Queens at 5:30. 2 shows that will keep you laughing. Rules of Engagement weeknights at 5 and King of Queens at 5:30. Must be TXA 21. The Mavericks have been in Europe since early last Thursday morning. Obviously, NBA Cares events have been a big part of that. Dirk last week signing autographs at one of those events in Germany. Deion Thompson, yeah, North Carolina there.
That's that connection.
Brandon Wright, Vince Carter, and Deion Thompson of Alba Berlin. A picture before Saturday's game. The FC Barcelona scarves on from El Clasico. Barcelona and Real Madrid on Sunday.
Missed that picture.
I noticed that as Alex Abrinas hits a 3 out of the timeout for Barcelona. I noticed Roddy was not sporting an FC Barcelona scarf. He's an AC Milan guy, so I don't think even for a picture he was willing to put that scarf on.
No way. That's knowing your roots.
Vince Carter just got fouled. Xavier Abaceda on the foul. Still 8 points for Chris Kaman leading Dallas. Barcelona's knocked down 4 threes. They've spread their scoring around. 9 different players have already scored for Barcelona. And a poor pass looking for Kaman in the lane, just too tall from Darren Collison.
Well, he has to complete that pass. Collison has to get the ball to Kaman because Kaman had his defenders sealed perfectly.
Marcelinho with the extra pass, then the drop off. Pete Michael for Nathan Jawai, and Jawai is fouled at the rim.
Marcelino is looking to pass the basket when he gets in the lane. A lot like Jason Kidd, not really looking at the basket to score, but to find somebody open.
Jawai fouled and will shoot 2. I mentioned earlier that Nathan Jawai was property of the Mavericks. Never played in a regular season game. He was acquired from Toronto in July of 2009, and then late in the preseason in October of 2009 was sent on to Minnesota. His 2 years in the NBA with the Raptors and Timberwolves saw him appear in a total of 45 games.
I think he's found his niche, though, in Europe. Really solid player for that European league. Does a good job around the basket. Big body.
Big body.
Can move people around.
Kaman sets and buries the J. That's a 10-point first half now for Kaman, bringing Dallas to within 2. Kaman had 14 Saturday in the preseason opening.
Kaman has impressed me on the offensive end for 2 games.
Marcelinho with the pass, had Pete Michael with a 3. Sean Marion back in, rebounds for Dallas on the floor with Collison, Carter, Kaman, and Dante Jones. Kaman on a post up against Jawai, tossed it up with the left hand and draws a foul, sending him to the free throw line.
He's a scoring machine. He worked out of the triple threat. The defender didn't go for it, so he puts the ball on the floor, which a lot of bigs can't do, using the left hand, draws a foul. Kaman very versatile as an offensive player.
The questions this year for Chris Kaman is, can he operate efficiently on offense, which is something that he did not do last year for New Orleans. Put up nice numbers, but wasn't the most efficient in doing so. And can he stay healthy?
Staying healthy is where I was going to go, Mark. That's always been a problem for him, is the injury bug has plagued him quite a bit throughout his career. And last year, unfortunately, I just don't think he was happy. I think he really wanted to be moved from New Orleans and have an opportunity to win. They were clearly and still in a rebuild type mode as a franchise.
Missed both free throws. Then Jawai scores over Kaman to the other end. Barcelona's lead back to 4 at 31-27, equaling their largest advantage. Kaman operating down low, misses the hook shot over Jawai.
You notice they're going to him every possession right now, Mark.
Alex Abrinas on the dribble for Barcelona. Drives on Sean Marion in the lane. It rolls home.
Abrinas showing the ability to put it on the floor against one of the better NBA defenders, Sean Marion.
Timeout taken here by Dallas. They've seen Barca's lead grow to 6. 33-27. Barcelona going into their best feed the last 2 NBA teams that have played preseason games. The Lakers there in 2010 and Philadelphia in 2006. At least the last 2 preseason games that have been played at Palau St. Jordi. Mavericks, it's time for their annual Furniture for Kids event benefiting the Mavs Foundation. Join the Dallas Mavericks at Club Zook on Thursday, October 25th. For more info on how you can support the kids, visit Mavs.com. Timeout has been taken here by Dallas. They had a 7-point lead, the Mavs did, in the first quarter. But since the Mavericks were up 15-8, Barcelona is now up 33-27. They've got their largest lead as we played midway through the second quarter. Launching the J out of the timeout. Darren Collison comes up short. You have Elton Brand back in the game for the Mavs. O.J. Mayo's back out there. Marcelinho running point. Into Nathan Jawai and knocked out of bounds.
And clearly they're trying to go to Jawai on the block against a smaller Elton Brand. Feel like they can take advantage of that matchup down low.
Wallace went out. Arazem Lorbeck is back in for Barcelona, and Pete Michael buries a J to stretch the Barcelona lead to 8.
And Pete Michael, a very aggressive offensive player. Vince Carter respecting that first step of Michael.
Low pass, got away from Brand. Retrieved by Sean Marion. Down to 7 to shoot with Brand in the paint and scoring.
Still has a little offensive stuff left in his repertoire.
4 for 5 today, 8 points now for Elton Brand.
You know he can give it to you if you need it.
Marcelinho whipping another pass. Love slinging those one-handed passes we've seen so far. Oh, gliding to the hoop in transition. Sean Marion, nice right down the lane to score.
Well, you like to see that in the early offense, just pushing that basketball with Collison. Sean will get out and run.
Marcelinho fouled. I'm not sure until that very moment that I've seen Marcelinho try to make a pass with both hands on the
pass,
ball.
right? Everything is one-handed for Marcelinho.
He's got a little panache to his game.
That one-hand pass will get you in trouble from time to time too, though, Mark. Coaches don't like it, let me tell you. They're always talking about putting that other hand on the ball.
I'm sure that a young Derek Harper probably heard some sort of wisdom from Dick Motta about that at some point along the line.
Yeah, taking the mustard off the hot dog, those kind of things is what Coach Motta would insinuate I did too much, to be perfectly honest with you. My favorite coach by far, though, throughout my career.
Darren Collison on the dribble, Marcelinho with a foul on the perimeter.
I like the way Dallas sort of lifted everybody up top, which gave Collison a wide open drive to the baseline. Here you see everybody goes up top, and Collison recognizes he has that baseline drive and gets there quick. Draws a foul. No help from Barcelona.
Trip to the free throw line here for Darren Collison. Collison was at 83% free throw shooter last season. He's 25 years old. All 4 years at UCLA, and is tied with Alfred Aboya for the second most games in Bruins basketball history with 142.
It's a good stat.
Yes.
For a Bruin. A lot of great players to play at UCLA. The great John Wooten as the legendary coach.
A couple of free throws there for Darren Collison. Collison 3 Final Fours playing under Ben Howland at UCLA.
So he's not afraid of the moment. He knows and understands the moment.
Arazem Lorbeck on the back down against Marion. Will go to the perimeter. 4 to shoot here for Marcelinho. Puts up a tough shot. Dallas got possession as the shot clock was about to run out. We still got the very crazy sounding shot clock expiring horn, if you want to call it that. Nice transition by Barcelona, and Pete Michael with the finish of the foul on Dallas. 3-point play opportunity coming up. Free the hard way for Michael as he goes to the free throw line.
Well, if you turn it over or you don't convert like Collison didn't do on that transition basket, Barcelona is going to push it at you. Here you see him in transition. 3 nice passes, and Michael gets the finish. Vince Carter called for a foul.
Mavs were shooting just 41% for the floor after Collison missed a shot last time down. Dallas is at 7 turnovers. Difference for Barcelona is that they've been able to hit some threes while Dallas has not. 4 made threes today for FC Barcelona. The Mavs have yet to make a three-pointer. As a matter of fact, they've only attempted 1.
Barcelona's been able to get more easy baskets than Dallas as well, Mark.
9 lead changes. 7-point advantage here. Barcelona is led by as many as 8 as Sean Marion connects on a 3. He had 23 pointers last year, which was more than the 3 previous seasons combined when he had 18. We saw him a little bit more comfortable taking the short corner 3, but buries that one for the wing. Hart.
Well, I'm happy for Sean that he knocked that one down, but I promise you Coach Carlisle didn't draw that play up.
Had a bad pass behind Pete Michael from Nathan Chawai. Barcelona with their 6th turnover.
Here we see Sean. Nice pass from Elton Brand, gets himself ready. And when he gets his feet set, he's not bad from that 3-point line.
Now here's Marion operating off the dribble. His runner off the glass won't go. The 3-pointer that Marion made a moment ago, drawing Dallas back to within 4. Razem Lorbeck. This is everything.
Close the door.
Lorbeck's from Slovenia, his 4th year with Barcelona. He was the MVP of the Spanish League Finals last year as Barcelona won their 3rd to the 2nd quarter. Mavericks preseason basketball on NBA TV and TXA 21 in the Dallas Fort Worth area. Mark Followell, Derek Harper on the call. Fun and excitement with the Mavs dancers and the folks in Barcelona. Well, high school football is coming up on TXA 21 this week. It's your home for high school football, and Thursday night there will be a live game starting with the kickoff show at 6:30, and then it is Highland Park and Mesquite Poteet. High school football on TXA 21 coming up on Thursday night.
I'm going with Highland Park.
That's your pick? All right.
Over Poteet.
2:38 left to the first half. It's Dallas ball out of the timeout at Palau Sant Jordi in Barcelona. This is the last of the preseason games for NBA teams against Euroleague squads. 6-1 is the record in this preseason for NBA teams against Euroleague sides. Fenerbahce from Turkey did defeat the Celtics last Friday in Turkey. Elton Brand works against Razem Lorbeck on the turnaround.
Not quite patient enough on that. I thought he could have done a better job of positioning himself on that particular shot. Could have got closer to the basket and got a better look.
That was the Croatian Ante Tomic who moved the ball, number 44 for Barcelona. Joe Inglis from Australia down low to Lorbeck. Lorbeck bobbles it at his feet, and it's turned over. Mayo got a hand on it, and Darren Collison will get out alone and finger roll it in.
And Lorbeck is having a tough time right now, forcing the action a little bit too much.
Lorbeck hasn't scored in league play this year. He has 25 points in the first 2 games for Barcelona.
He can score. Again, I just think that he's trying to do a little bit too much on his own opposed to using his teammates.
Darren Collison with a foul. And Marcelinho, the 29-year-old, again has a North Texas tie with a year spent going to high school in Capel. From Sao Paulo, Brazil, playing professionally in Spain for his 8th season. 2nd year with FC Barcelona. As I noted earlier, Barcelona won the Spanish League title last year for the 3rd time in 4 years.
That's some good teams.
Yes, they won the Euroleague in 2010. For the soccer fans in the audience, that would equate to something very similar to UEFA Champions League. Best domestic clubs in European pro basketball play in the Euroleague, in addition to their own domestic league competition.
You talk to Donnie Nelson, who knows the Euroleague better than anybody. He has a lot of respect. As Kaman draws that foul, he has a lot of respect for European basketball. He's been a solid ambassador for European basketball.
Very instrumental in getting Sarunas Marciulionis
Yes.
over to Golden State when he was an assistant with his dad.
Yep.
FC Barcelona again plays in the Spanish league and the Euroleague. Founded in 1926, the oldest pro club in Spain.
Wow.
17 overall league titles, including being the reigning league champion and two-time Euroleague champ as well.
Incredible.
Chris Kaman got fouled a moment ago. Trip to the free throw line for the Mavericks' leading scorer today.
Best European player ever to play in the NBA.
He's down there on the right of the bench. I think
sure
he's
make
sitting
sure you're
in
on your
front
toes.
of he's sitting in front of Fingers Fineski, the Mavericks team masseur.
Yes, sir. By far. Although Petrovic was on his way.
The great draws of Petrovic.
Yes, sir.
Joe Ingles sniping up the baseline, draws a foul. And Ingles will shoot a pair of free throws.
Here's a look at Ingles trying to get all the way to the basket. Veteran Elton Brand making sure he didn't give up that and one.
Yeah, opting not to let him have the easy two or commit a foul that would allow him to even have a shot at finishing, and as you said, get the and one.
Yeah, it's a good hard foul.
Ingles is averaging 11.5 points per game with Barcelona so far this year.
Here you see the foul again, Elton Brand. That's a playoff foul.
Not a preseason
In the
foul, is it?
preseason. Well, that's experience. That's what that is, coming from Elton Brand. He knows not to give up the and one in that situation. Smart foul, even though he has to go and take a break.
The career arc for Elton Brand: 2 years with the Bulls, 7 years with the Clippers, 4 seasons with Philadelphia. 33 years old, #1 overall pick in 1999. Career average just over 18 points a game, over 9 rebounds a game as well.
Pretty good numbers.
Mavericks get it back as they intercept. O.J. Mayo in the passing lane with a steal. And Mayo with the step back three comes up short.
Not crazy about that shot. And it could have been a 2-for-1 opportunity for Dallas, is why he took that quick shot, but could have gotten a better shot.
26 seconds left. Ante Tomic. Ingles. Tomic missed the tip in. That was a play where the ball looked like it was in the cylinder. But remember, this is a hybrid rules game, NBA and FIBA. And in FIBA, you can go get the ball even when it's in the cylinder once it's touched the rim.
That was a perfect opportunity.
Todorovic on a drive and kick three-point opportunity. No. First half comes to a conclusion. And the first few minutes, the Mavs looked good. But FC Barcelona, after falling behind by 7, ends up leading by as many as 8 in the first half. And they reach the break with a 2-point lead. 42-40 is the advantage for FC Barcelona over the Mavericks at the half. It's NBA Europe Live 2012. The Mavericks making their first ever trip as a franchise to Europe for preseason games, defeating Alba Berlin by 5 on Saturday, but they trailed by Barcelona by 2 at the half. It's Mavericks preseason basketball. It's another 24 to play. The Mavericks' second and final Europe Live preseason game. They beat Alba Berlin 89-84. That was on Saturday. They trail FC Barcelona 42-40. Some numbers for the first half. FC Barcelona was led by 9 points from Pete Michael. They shot 34% for the floor. As a team, they made 4 threes and turned it over 8 times. Now let's move on to the Mavs, who shot 40%. They had 8 turnovers. They only made 1 3. They were led by Chris Kaman, who had 12 points. Elton Brand starting in place of Dirk. He had the first basket for Dallas.
And really did a solid job attacking the basket. There you see Damian Jones finding Kaman for one of his 12 points in tonight's game. Dante Jones came in the game, really gave the team a lift in transition, made a couple of nice drives to the basket, or a couple of nice defensive plays. There you see him sacrificing his body, taking that charge.
42-40 again is the lead for FC Barcelona. They have the ball as we start the third quarter. It's Mavericks preseason basketball on NBA TV and TXA 21. TXA 21 is carrying 4 more preseason games, and a couple will be on Fox Sports Southwest. Dallas will play 6 preseason games between October the 15th and October the 26th, 4 at home at American Airlines Center. They also have to go to Atlanta, and they have to go to Wichita, Kansas to play the Oklahoma City Thunder. Ante Tomic, the Croatian, with the basket. Came in fouled, shooting 2 free throws. That preseason schedule I was referring to, there's the lineup on Fox Sports Southwest. The games against the Rockets on the 15th in Dallas, and against the Thunder in Wichita on the 24th. And TXA 21 will be covering games on the 17th, the 20th, the 22nd, and the 26th. Phoenix, Atlanta, New Orleans, and Charlotte. Those 4 games will be on TXA 21.
And you know, Mark, in watching Kaman for 2 games, he may be a little bit underrated, I think, as an offensive player. He really scored the basketball. His ability to shoot the ball from the perimeter sets up his ability to put the ball on the floor and draw fouls as well. You know as well as I know, you can get to the free throw line. You can really score a lot of points. There you see O.J. finding him with a nice little pass there inside.
Yeah, nice wraparound pass by O.J. Mayo. Kaman went right to the front of the basket.
Smart player. Really is a very heady big.
He's 5 of 10 for the floor now, and 5 of 8 for the free throw line. Mayo thought he got ball, but foul on O.J. Mayo against Juan Carlos Navarro.
Initially beat, thought he got a hand on the ball. That hand being a part of the ball in that situation, judging by what the officials saw.
Foul-wise, Elton Brand has 3. Vince Carter has 3 for Dallas. O.J. Mayo just picked up his first. Juan Carlos Navarro, 32 years old. In 2010 was the European Player of the Year. Other than his 1 year with Memphis, his entire pro basketball career has been spent playing for FC Barcelona, starting back in 1997 when he was 17 years old. Some indecision. Now Mayo will pull the trigger and miss on a 3.
You can't be indecisive when you get a wide open shot. If you're O.J. Mayo, you have to take that shot in rhythm.
Navarro back to C.J. Wallace, and Wallace from the outside.
Offers some nice penetration by Navarro.
49-43 the lead for FC Barcelona. They've led by as many as 8. Dallas's biggest lead in the first quarter was 7 points. The 5 guys on the floor right now for Dallas. The starting 5 for this game: Collison, Mayo, Marion, Brand, and Kaman.
Brand has done a good job of filling in for the absence of Dirk. Been solid on both ends of the floor.
Marion had 9 points after that hoop last time down. Juan Carlos Navarro on the drive, leaves it for Ante Tomic.
Once again, Barcelona showing the ball, getting inside, finding open people.
Tomic new to FC Barcelona, played for their rival Real Madrid for the last 3 years. A rebound for Navarro. Barcelona can push the lead back to 8 or potentially 9. Marcelinho behind the back. Wallace has hit a 3 from there a moment ago, but missed that one. This will be Dallas ball. Mavs got a double-double out of Sean Marion the other day. 12 points and 11 rebounds in the first preseason game, and Kaman is flirting with that. 9 boards to go with 15 points today for Chris Kaman. The only player for Dallas double-digit scoring-wise, although Marion's knocking on the door with 9.
So is Elton Brand.
A basket here would put him at 10, but he missed. A little over 3 minutes played in the third quarter. Marcelinho. Tomic at 7-2 was able to make himself a big enough target to catch that pass, but then it was poked away by Dallas.
You know, as a big, you need the strength, Mark, to handle that pass. Good hand by Collison. handle that pass in traffic is a difficult thing for Tomic.
Ante Tomic was drafted by the Utah Jazz. They own his rights. 44th pick in 2008. Marion the rebound to the offside after C.J. Wallace missed. Didn't see a ton of Wallace in the first half, but he's making his presence felt with a lot of shots here in the third quarter for Barcelona. Off the turnover, Pete Michael.
Rick not happy with that.
Nope.
Turning the basketball over is been a nemesis for the Mavericks for 2 games, which is going to allow Barcelona to get out in transition for easy baskets like this for Michael.
He's at 11 points. Timeout called by Dallas. Basket for FC Barcelona, and they have opened up an 8-point lead, 53-45, equaling their largest lead of the game. Mavs preseason bat 345 Barcelona over Dallas, 8:22 left in the third quarter. Dirk sitting out today in this preseason game, by the way. Just a touch of swelling in his right knee after practice yesterday. Calling all kids to show up for the true MFFL spirit. You can sign up for the Mavs Kids Club and be the first of your friends to know about full promotions, like how to become a kid reporter. Visit Mavs.com for more details. After playing Saturday in Berlin, the Mavs went to Barcelona on Sunday. They were there in time to see the FC Barcelona Real Madrid El Clasico soccer game. You saw some of the pictures here from the trip out the plane as they were getting ready to land in Barcelona. Dirk and Chris Kaman in the plane. Back in Berlin, that picture Saturday morning in front of the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin.
Sure. Beautiful.
Vince Carter is in. A kick ball. Carter went in. Came into the bench. Haven't seen Bernard James today. We did see him on Saturday. We saw Jared Cunningham, the first-round draft pick. Have yet to see him play in the preseason. Darren Collison inside the three-point arc. Collison connects on that jump shot.
He's a better shooter than he gets credit for as well. Rotation looks pretty good on that jump shot.
Navarro launches a three. Clangs off the iron and out.
See where Dallas is going to go offensively here. Been a little bit inconsistent in where they want to go.
Collison uses a screen, drives in the runner, banks home.
Nice drive there. Back-to-back baskets for him. I think he really understands, Mark, when to try to get other people involved and when to sort of look for his own offense. He has the ability to score the basketball when he's being aggressive.
Another kick ball. Shot clock will reset to 14. Collison has triggered Dallas slicing the lead in half. They were down by 8 at the timeout, but back-to-back hoops by Collison have made this a 4-point game. Pete Michael on the dribble, spins to the paint. Only 3 to shoot. Offensive rebound. Putback attempt was missed by C.J. Wallace. And the Mavs can continue to build a run here. They would love to see O.J. Mayo make something happen, but with that miss of the paint, Mayo is now 0 for 5.
I think part of that is the kind of shots that he's getting. If you watch that shot, it was a challenge shot in the lane over the bigs.
Yeah, I would say of the new additions, he's looked more out of sorts than any one of them in these first 2 preseason games.
I'm going to continue to use the word mesh together, and also, Mark, a work in progress is what I'm going to say O.J. Mayo is right now. Trying to get comfortable in a new system isn't the easiest thing to do.
He hustles there, dives on the floor to get a loose ball, and as a result, Marion gets a shot in the paint that won't go. But Carter with a hustle play to get the ball back for Dallas with the offensive rebound. Collison's baseline jumper is no good. Marion misses on a putback. Multiple opportunities, Dallas doesn't cash in.
Easy opportunities.
Navarro centered the break. Got the ball back for Marcelinho and finds Pete Michael. That's 13 to lead FC Barcelona. Pete Michael. Elton Brand Michael had a big game against the Lakers. Scored 26 points when Barcelona defeated the Lakers almost 2 years ago to the day at Palau San Jordi. 92-88. Barcelona won that preseason game.
Well, Michael can score. That's what he is, Mark, is a very aggressive offensive player that can put it on the floor, shoot it up at a pretty high rate, 18 feet and in.
A drive by O.J. Mayo in the paint.
Tough shot.
Man, still doesn't have a made basket. Has only 1 point today on a free throw.
He's starting to press a little bit as well.
0 for 6 from the floor. Navarro, a quick trigger three. And C.J. Wallace just takes that rebound back from Dallas. Timeout called here by Rick Carlisle. I believe this will be a 20. I don't care where the game is, if it's preseason, if it's in Europe, if Dirk is or isn't playing. I think there's some things that are happening right now that's all part of the process about getting honed in and getting ready to play that Rick Carlisle isn't seeing. Hence, that's why he's taking this timeout.
Well, there's no doubt about that, Mark. And in 2 games, Dallas has not been efficient as a basketball team on either end of the floor. We talked about the 27 turnovers that they had against Berlin a couple of nights ago. Here you go tonight. Again, the offensive rebounding and the turnovers really hampering Dallas and keeping them out of position to win this game.
And what they're trying to do is, as we have said, mesh together. We'll see the new additions. You've got 3 draft picks and a camp invitee and a Koyon at the top of the list. And then 5 players who have experience in the league, including Chris Kaman and Elton Brand, both 30 plus. Dante Jones, 31 years old as well. Collison has 3 years in the NBA. O.J. Mayo's played 4 years. The returning cast: Dirk, Delonte West, The Matrix, Vince Carter, Roddy Beaubois, Dominic Jones, and Brandon Wright. So that's the roster makeup. 16 players you saw on the list. Josh Okoyan is on a non-guaranteed training camp invite, though, so at least at this stage of the game, he's the odds-on favorite to be the one guy left off the roster.
A lot of experience on that roster. In spite of having a couple of new guys, there are a lot of guys on that roster that's been around and should understand the importance. As Elton Brand knocks down that jump shot, understand the importance of playing hard all the time, Mark. And surely the jet lag sets in, all of those different things that we've talked about, but effort, there has to be a premium on effort when you're trying to find the right continuity as a new team.
Navarro missed an open shot after a scramble for a loose ball, and Navarro has it back.
Another offensive rebound.
He looks for Nathan Jawai rolling to the basket.
Last line of defense nowhere to be found that time.
Another 10-point Barcelona lead. Delonte West checked in a moment ago. O.J. Mayo went out of the game, by the way, for Dallas. West subbed in. Brand underneath. Collison tried a little sell a foul. Bounce pass to Elton Brand late in the shot clock. Kept alive by Sean Marion, but ultimately controlled by Nathan Jawai.
And you could see in that possession, Dallas not really sure where they want to go offensively. A lot of dribbling, a lot of standing, making them very easy to guard.
Navarro heaving a 3 and buries it.
Now you're facing a very confident Barcelona team now. You know, with Dirk being out, this team feeling themselves a little bit.
Crowds into it.
Crowds into it, them feeling a lot of confidence as the players. Navarro knocks down that 3 to put him up 13.
Juan Carlos Navarro has made 3 threes today. He goes over the double-digit plateau now with 11 points. Pete Michael leads Barcelona with 13 as they do the way. Quite a display by Barcelona here in the 3rd quarter. They have opened up a 13-point lead. Juan Carlos Navarro burying a 3 before Rick Carlisle calls Dallas's 3rd timeout of the 3rd quarter. Barca up 64-51 as we check the BBVA Compass game summary. Chris Kaman leads Dallas. He has 15 points, 9 rebounds, 1 block, 5 of 10 for the floor, 5 of 8 from the line, and 9 minutes played. And his offensive showing has been a bright spot in what has otherwise been a subpar performance by Dallas.
Well, the energy is not there. Kaman has been a bright spot, Mark, especially on the offensive end of the floor. Scored in a lot of different ways.
Vince Carter, nope. Marko Todorovic Youngster from Montenegro with the rebound for Barcelona. Beat Michael. Michael with a runner that bounces in, and the lead is 15.
And if you look at Barcelona, they seem to have more continuity and know what they want to do and where they want to go on the offensive end. And as a result, they're getting better possessions at this point in the game. And Carter misses a money right there.
Yeah, moving to the basket, Carter missed. Dominic Jones is on the floor. Brandon Wright is in for Dallas. Leaner off the glass, good for Marcelinho.
Tough shot.
This is 9 straight for FC Barcelona. They lead 68-51.
Well, their confidence has grown quite a bit right now throughout this game, throughout this third quarter.
Yeah, through the roof. 9-point run ends for Barcelona when Dominic Jones floats one in.
Big deal for them, for Barcelona, anytime they face an NBA opponent.
You know, they've won their last 2 preseason games against NBA teams in Barcelona.
Right.
As we noted earlier, the Lakers in 2010, Philadelphia in 2006. Big block there by David Jawai. So there's obviously a sense of pride in terms of playing these NBA Europe Live preseason games. Here's the games that I'm referring to. The other thing is for Barcelona is that I'm sure they wanted to play well today because this team has high expectations, and they've started out their own league play at 0-2. So I'm sure that there was motivation to play well today because of that.
Absolutely, Mark, and been one of the better teams in
Spain, of course,
in Spain, period, when you look at what they've been able to do as far as winning championships is concerned. And again, I'm going to stick to my guns on who they're playing. They're playing an NBA opponent, and you're always going to get up if you're a European team against the NBA teams.
And a guy who made his living in the NBA for a couple of years is going to the free throw line now. Sarunas Jasikevičius. Jasikevičius went to college at Maryland, of course, from Lithuania. 36 years old.
Very crafty 36-year-old.
Oh, man.
Plays with a lot of savvy on the floor. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's fundamentally sound, shoots the ball well.
Good
leader.
leader.
Given the opportunity, can definitely run a team.
Vince Carter out. Looks like we're set to see the Maverick debut of Jared Cunningham. Cunningham, the 24th pick last summer, officially taken by the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then his draft rights that night were traded to Dallas.
Yep. Had a solid college career. Solid defender. Used to work on his outside shot a little bit.
Here he is, number 1.
Talking to some of the assistant coaches.
He was the 24th pick, Cunningham, in 2012. 18 points a game last year at Oregon State in his junior season. Harp mentioned his defensive ability. He was 5th in steals in the NCAA as a sophomore at 2.8 per game, and 9th in steals in college basketball last year. So 2 years running in the top 10 in college basketball in steals. Jawai with a foul.
It was a nice attack by Dominic Jones. Something he's able to do. Here you see him just nice explosion to the basket, drawing the foul.
That beats Xavi Revisada.
Dominic has a good first step. This is where he needs work, shooting the basketball, whether it's free throws or around the perimeter. If he's gonna have a long career in this league, he's gonna have to improve his outside shot.
About to turn 24 years old next Monday. In the summer league, he shot 45.5% from the floor. Went 3 of 11 on threes. Averaged 16.4 points a game at 5 games out in Las Vegas for Dallas in the summer league.
Tends to play well in the summer league when he gets the opportunity out there.
Now the question is, can he take the next step?
Take it to the real floor. That's what it's always the challenge.
Nathan Jawai is fouled. Jones committing the foul. Jasikevičius to Jawai.
and the defense just a little bit late. He didn't sink quick enough where he could draw that foul and had to reach in and got called for the foul.
Jawai on the free throw line. Seven points off the bench today for Nathan Jawai, and a +9 in his time on the floor. Ladies, you can visit Mavs.com and sign up today for the Hoops and Heels Club presented by State Farm. We've got something for every Lady Mavs fan, from special sales or nights out with the girls. Visit Mavs.com for more information. This has been a third quarter where Dallas has just been buried. FC Barcelona has outscored the Mavericks 30-14 in the third quarter and opened up a 72-54 lead.
And really been the aggressor on both ends of the floor, Mark. Everything coming difficult for Dallas as Delonte West finally gets one to go from the perimeter.
Jasikavičius pushes up the shot. Then Brandon Wright and Cunningham end up coughing up an outlet pass. Right back to FC Barcelona as Xavi Rabaseda drives. Nathan Jawai. Big body got the ball back.
Second shot.
Yeah, Mario Hezonja missed from the perimeter.
And right away you think about being fatigued when balls are bouncing around and you can't come up with them. You're being out hustled is what that's called.
2 seconds differential. And pick and roll, easy. Slam dunk. Jasikavičius to Nathan Jawai.
Too easy.
Back to an 18-point lead for FC Barcelona. And Jared Cunningham hits the floor. Tied up by Xavi Rabaseda. Cunningham again did not play Saturday in Berlin. Getting on the floor for the first time here late in the third quarter. Born in Oakland, 21 years old. High school in San Leandro, California.
It's going to be tough for him to get on the floor, though, with all of the guards that the Mavericks have.
And all of the combo guards.
Combo guards,
yeah,
guys.
Twos, yep.
Absolutely.
Cunningham taps the jump ball to Brandon Wright. And Wright misses the jumper at the end of the third quarter. Well, I'm sure there have been parts of this Europe trip that have been great fun for Dallas, and I'm surely parts of the trip to Barcelona have been last week in Berlin. Just a couple of, yeah. Rick Carlisle looking on, wonder what he's thinking and what he will be taking.
No, I don't wonder that. He's not going to be happy about either of these games. And mainly because of the turnovers and the lack of rebounding by his team. Those two things you have to do if you're going to be successful in this league.
Even though there has been a significant drop in turnovers from Saturday to today, 27-12, something just still has seemed off kilter. Case in point right there. They do come up with the ball, but it's a step slow. It's giving up an offensive rebound, and we discussed it on Saturday.
Yes.
These are with new faces. This is not the most conducive atmosphere to trying to get everything headed in the right direction at the start of the preseason. But that's what you still have another 3 weeks of training.
Right, and everything is a work in progress for this Maverick team. There's no question about that. Adding, I think, 8 new guys on your roster once everything is said and done. But still, when you start talking turnovers, this is the kind of turnovers I think that drives coaches crazy. You talked earlier about them not being forced turnovers, but unforced turnovers, which means that you're being very careless with the basketball and not quite ready to play when the ball is tossed up.
37% shooting for Dallas in this game. There's the turnover numbers. 12 for the Mavs and 9 for FC Barcelona.
So that's an average of what?
4 quarters?
Yeah. Not good.
Cunningham missed the first of 2 free throws. And things are not going to look nearly as much in sync on offense when you don't have the
41
settling
out there.
presence. Yes, the anchor of 41 out there. Delonte West converts.
Let's face it, Dirk simply gives you somewhere to go with your offense when he's on the floor. You can run everything through him and get nice possessions. When he's not out there, you have Chris Kaman, but as Delonte makes a nice defensive play there.
Yeah, the steal and score. A couple of baskets for Delonte West off turnovers.
It's good to see the energy pick up for Dallas.
74-61, the Barcelona lead here early on in the fourth. Mavericks preseason basketball on NBA TV and TXA 21. Hazonia pirouettes as he gets the ball back. Jasikevičius. Nathan Jawai on the putback.
Talk about Jawai, his ability to take up space out there. Did a nice job that time of attacking the ball on the offensive glass.
Not just eating up space, devouring space in the lane as Cunningham buries a three for the corner. The triple for Jared Cunningham. 12 points is the advantage for Barcelona.
It's amazing when you go to that bench how the energy tends to pick up, because you have guys over on the bench anxious to get out there and try to make something positive happen, prove themselves as players.
Delonte West leads Dallas up the floor, off the miss by Barcelona. Kaman finds Brandon Wright, and right to the free throw line.
Nice find by Kaman.
Wright averaged 7 points a game last season for the Mavs, and he easily bettered his previous career high in games in a season. Wright played 49 games last year after playing 39 games for his previous career high, and also played almost 800 minutes last year. His previous best in a season was 688. We'll see Wright shooting free throws when we come back. A timeout is called here by FC Barcelona. Delonte West has helped Dallas trim an 18-point Barcelona lead at 1 point down to 12 with just over 10 minutes remaining in this second and final preseason game for the Mavericks in Europe. You know, an academic all-star joined FlowServe and the Mavs in honoring students who have either excelled or improved their grades this year. Visit Mavs.com to nominate your all-star today and make them part of the FlowServe Academic All-Stars. The lead is 12 as we speak, but Brandon Wright has an opportunity to cut it to 10 with a pair of free throws. He shot 63% on his foul shots last year. Season numbers last season: 7 points. The 1.3 blocks he averaged in 16 minutes a game, so his block per minute numbers ended up placing him 6th best in the NBA.
Really gave Dallas a presence on the inside last year. His athletic ability, his ability to finish around the basket.
Led the Mavericks in dunks, had 57 dunks last year.
Absolutely. I think it really paid dividends to have an active, athletic guy around the basket that could actually finish around the basket.
His slight frame and lack of outside shooting ability still limit him, but no question that for the first time in his career last year, he carved out a role for himself.
Yes.
He
Sort of
earned
disappeared.
minutes last year. No
He
question.
definitely earned minutes, and I thought was a good compliment for Dallas to bring off the bench.
I think you were about to say
You know,
disappeared
during the
in the
playoffs,
playoffs.
he struggled a little bit against Oklahoma. Rick elected not to use him as much because I think it was all new to him. I think he was getting ready to play opposed to being ready to play, because come playoff time, you can't be getting ready to play. You have to be ready to play. And he was just a step slow and a little indecisive in that Oklahoma series that Dallas lost. Oklahoma City, that is.
10-point lead. Wright just made free throws. Dallas has chewed up about half of that 18-point Barcelona edge. Aprinas missed a three. Technical foul. Delonte West.
Wallace not happy about something.
Talking with Joe Ingles, his teammate there, number 20. Wallace is from Atlanta, went to school at Princeton. He's played overseas in Italy and Germany, in addition to now his second year with FC Barcelona.
It was accidental contact is what I think.
That's 2 technicals today for Dallas. Dante Jones got one. Exchanged some words with someone in the second quarter.
Take a look here.
Yeah.
Just a hard foul by Delonte, and then he went back after the loose ball and, again, accidentally hit Wallace in the face, which doesn't make him feel any better.
On purpose or accident, he's not going to feel any better about it.
Not going to be happy for it. Ricky electing to pull Delonte out.
Had a shooting foul as well in all of that. That can't be too bad. Vince Carter was laughing about it on the
he'll
bench.
be okay. You don't want to wake the hot sauce up, though. He's having fun with it. One of the tougher players in this league, though. You better believe that.
Another look at the play in question. And Zach Zarba right there hitting him with the tee. Darren Collison's gone back in. Dominic Jones with a drive, gets inside. Can't finish, though, against Tomic. But Jones with a rebound of his own miss and goes back up to score.
Mavs playing a lot harder right now.
A pretty blah third quarter, but no question, harder play here in the fourth quarter.
Sort of picking up the intensity.
Yeah, they had Marcelinho trapped with 2 defenders and right there against the sideline and the midcourt line.
I think that's what helped Dallas to get back in this game, Mark, is the fact that they've gone into a little trap, which has allowed them to get steals like this particular play here. Easy basket. Here you see Delonte again making another nice defensive play. And when you're down, the best way to get yourself back in it is to change the whole concept of the game. Pick up a little bit. Energy goes up. Good pass by Dominique Jones that time, finding Cunningham.
And Cunningham explodes up the baseline. Cunningham has just ferocious hops. You check YouTube while playing for Oregon State against Arizona a couple of years ago. He had the dunk of the year in the then Pac-10.
Yes. A beautiful pass. Fantastic pass by Dominique Jones that time.
Jared Cunningham back on the free throw line. He's 1 of 3 on his free throw attempts in the 5 minutes that he's played here in the second half. Shot 74% on free throws in his junior season, his last year at Oregon State last year.
Had a fantastic college career, Mark. And with young guys, you always wonder if what they do in college is going to translate into something good in the NBA. So, jury's still out. It looks pretty good.
All Pac-12 first team last year. And Jared Cunningham, coached by President Obama's brother-in-law, Craig Robinson of Oregon State.
That's just forced Barcelona to speed up a little bit, forcing them to rush their offense a little.
Dominic Jones, Don Cunningham, baseline jumper missed. And this isn't the best lineup that Barcelona can put on the floor. They've got a couple of young guys out there. Wallace isn't a guy who plays heavy minutes in the rotation. Alex Abrinas is a 19-year-old. They do have Tomic and Inglis out there. And there is the aforementioned Croatian 7'2" Ante Tomic, short on the J.
Things starting to come from the outside for them.
Dominic Jones in the lane, missed it. Hustling after a ball that was tipped out by Dallas.
If you're Dominic Jones, being sort of the veteran guy in the backcourt right now, this is when you want to try and control the game on the offensive end. You want, even though Collison is out there, you want to get quality possessions because you're trying to get yourself back in the game.
There he is with a steal. They trapped Marcelinho. He threw the ball away. And Dominic Jones and Darren Collison has made it a 7-point game.
I like what they're doing right now with their energy, picking up full court. Only down 7 points right now. There's another steal, almost.
Barcelona led by 18 at the end of the third quarter. Marcelinho with that herky-jerky drive gets fouled.
He forces you to foul him in a lot of situations.
Dominic Jones on the foul. It's not a comparison of abilities, just a comparison in similarity of movement. But I see the way Marcelinho drives and I think Ginobili.
Yes, sir. Arms frailing all over the place. You don't think Coach Carlisle wants to win this game? He's going back with his guys right now. Brandon Wright taking a seat, Vince Carter coming in, along with O.J. Mayo. There's something to wanting to win this one.
Dominic Jones did give Dallas a lift, though.
Absolutely.
And Jared Cunningham runs the floor, got out in front and jams it home. A two-hand flush for Jared Cunningham. And after the free throws by Marcelinho, back to a 7-point game.
It's a good push.
Jared Cunningham, 7 points. More free throws coming up, though. A lot of free throws in this game now. This will be 28 free throw attempts for Barcelona after these two for C.J. Wallace. Dallas is at 25 free throw attempts.
There you see O.J. Mayo just outsized on that possession.
(20 of 27 for Barcelona now at the line after that miss. Came it out. Elton Brand returns. High-minute player for Dallas today. Darren Collison, 28. Elton Brand is at 27 as he comes back in. Kamen has played 26 minutes. 1 of 2 at the line. Wallace, 8-point game. Brand short on a pick and pop. Jay, 6-point game. Or could have made it a 6-point game.
Tough shot for Elton Brand, just re-entering the game.
Brand on the block, the defender against Ante Tomic. Parade to the free throw line.
Here's Tomic working against Brand. A little small hook there. Officials called the foul first.
Ante Tomic on the line. Tomic with 8 points. And he leads Barcelona amongst their starters anyway with 7 rebounds. The overall leading rebounder today for FC Barcelona is C.J. Wallace with 10. And also 8 points today from C.J. Wallace. Tomic is 25 years old, from Croatia, 7'2". Nice looking form on the free throws for Tomic. Has 10 points now, and an and one here, Vince Carter.
What a veteran move by Vince Carter. Attacking the basket, initiating the contact, drawing the foul for an and one opportunity. Natural scores. Really comfortable making plays like that.
Carter to complete the three-point play. It's been a tough day for Dallas at the line. They are 15 of 26 with that miss.
Unlike Dallas from the free throw line.
The edge is 8 with 6 minutes remaining. Down low, Wallace. Outside of Juan Carlos Navarro, and he has his pocket picked by Darren Collison and then got fouled.
Solid defense by Collison. Moving his feet and using his hands. Here you see him cutting off the drive, gets a hand in. Off to the races from there.
That's the 8th steal as a team today for Dallas. Collison has 2. Dominic Jones leads the way for the Mavericks in Barcelona. Palau Sanjordi in this NBA Live Europe 2012 tour. Mavericks played and beat Alba Berlin on Saturday. They come back home tomorrow, and then preseason play continues next week, starting Monday the 15th. There will be 6 games played in 12 days. The Rockets are at American Airlines Center next Monday. That game, and the game against the Thunder in Wichita, Kansas, will be on Fox Sports Southwest. And then 4 games in the Metroplex on TXA 21 against the Suns, Hawks, Hornets, and Bobcats. 12 days, 6 games to round out the preseason. And then the regular season will start against the LA Lakers coming up on October the 30th. Part of the NBA's opening night.
We get to call all of them.
Looking forward to it,
yes,
although not that one. We'll be giving way to TNT that night.
Okay.
Our first broadcast for the regular season will be against the Utah Jazz on Halloween night in Salt Lake City at Energy Solutions Arena. From the Laker aspect of things, by the way, I read today where Dwight Howard has been cleared for 5-on-5 contact activity.
Slowly getting ready.
Maybe ready for the start of the season. Although Jordan Hill, who carved out a role for himself as a backup big after getting traded there last year,
yes,
has a herniated disc, so he's on the shelf for a while, from what I understand.
Even more reason for Dwight Howard to try and get back.
Darren Collison, 2 free throws.
Now we're still in that trap.
They turned an 18-point Barcelona lead at its largest to 6.
It's caused Barcelona some problems.
Wallace shot fakes, drives, finds Pete Michael late in the clock. Hits a corner jump shot.
Wrong guy to give an open shot to. That's 17 for him. It's inconsistent.
Leads Barcelona in scoring, Hart, with the 17 that you noted.
Yep.
Lead back to 8. A drive by Vince Carter. And Carter loses it out of bounds.
Tweaked his ankle up a tad.
A sprained left ankle has Roddy on the shelf. Beaubois is out today after hurting it the second half against Berlin on Saturday.
There's a look at Vince trying to get around Toman. Comes down a little awkward on that left ankle. Still grimacing a little. Not sure if it's the ankle or a knee.
He's holding his knee when he went to
Yeah,
the floor.
you're exactly right.
And
Still holding
it is
it.
there, yeah. Wondered if he landed awkwardly.
That's what it looked like.
Five minutes to go.
Dallas has really extended their defense out on the perimeter.
Juan Carlos Navarro went to Marcelinho. Skid pass. Close out by O.J. Mayo, and that results in a shot clock violation.
Good defensive possession for Dallas.
A shot clock violation or an ambulance is loose in the building, one or the other.
It's a violation. Sounds like an ambulance, though.
On the run, Mayo missed off the glass. O.J. Mayo now 0 for 7 with that miss.
Tough night shooting.
Michael runs the floor down the lane off that feed from Ante Tomic.
He's been the most active player on the floor. Michael, that is.
And Pete Michael now 8 for 11.
Nice pass from Tomic over to Michael. He finishes strong with the opposite hand.
That's a game high 19 points now for the former Cincinnati Bearcat from Rock Island, Illinois, Pete Michael. And he's given Barcelona back-to-back hoops by Pete Michael have extended Barcelona's lead back to 10 at 87-77. Mark Followill, Derek Harper. It's Mavs preseason basketball on NBA TV and TXA 21. If you're just tuning in, Dirk Nowitzki's sore right knee swelled up a little bit after practice yesterday, and Rodrigue Beaubois sprained left ankle that he sustained in the third quarter Saturday playing in Berlin. He left the arena. O2 World. There's Josh Okoye hitting a 3. Get to him in a moment. He left the arena in a walking boot. Beaubois did on Saturday, but was out of the boot by the time practice rolled around on Monday.
Well, every team that started the preseason, one of the things they're trying to do is avoid injury. It's part of the game, but you want to be fortunate, not unfortunate, when it comes to your main core guys being injured.
Runner by Juan Carlos Navarro. Lead back to 9. Josh Okoyan, non-guaranteed contract training camp invitation. 5'11" from Cal State Fullerton.
Can fill it up. We saw a couple of practices where he really just shot the leather off the ball.
Jared Cunningham to Vince Carter. Carter draws a foul, shoots 2, 3:36 to go. To follow up on your point about Josh Okoyan, 24 points a game as a senior at Cal State Fullerton. Single season Fullerton points record.
Not
had
bad.
had a 19 point per game effort with Sacramento in the summer league this past summer, and that I think helped put him on Dallas's radar.
Well, not bashful at all either. When you check into the game and immediately you get a shot up.
Not wasted any time.
Coach Carlisle had to force his guys to guard this guy in one of the practices that we saw last week. He made the reference that in case you guys didn't realize, this guy can really shoot after he had made about 3 or 4 straight.
Averaged 28 points per game in 2 years played in China. Played a year in Estonia as well.
I don't care where you're playing. You can average 28, Mark.
Yes,
you can
sir.
score the basketball.
89-81 after Vince Carter went 1 of 2 at the line. Marcelinho slings it to Ante Tomic. Navarro finds Wallace. This 3, Elton Brand the rebound. The lineup is Okoyan, Darren Collison, Jared Cunningham, Vince Carter, and Elton Brand. And Collison drills it. 6-point game with 3:05 remaining.
Nice looking stroke by Collison. Good decision. Take what the defense gives you.
14 points for the second consecutive game for Darren Collison. Wallace, Ante Tomic, 2 free throws coming up. 2:50 left with Tomic on the free throw line. 10 points, 8 boards today for Tomic. Good pass from Pete Michael, or from Wallace, from Pete Michael into Tomic.
They do a good job of moving the basketball, the bigs especially. There you see Tomic getting fouled. Most European bigs can really shoot and pass the basketball.
No doubt.
That's where their value is.
Elton Brand just called for his 5th foul.
And when you're trying to get back, last thing you want to do is foul and stop that clock. Put the opposing team on the free throw line.
Another free throw here for Tomic. (91-83) Barcelona. Collison pulled the string on the jump shot. Marcelinho picked up by Jared Cunningham.
And they're going to use the clock right now as a teammate. Milk that clock.
Trap it out of Marcelinho's hands. Vince Carter was in the passing lane. Got a tiny deflection. Maybe an offensive foul here. Yeah, Pete Michael, offensive foul. Vince Carter last season was the Mavericks leader in charges drawn. And Carter draws that offensive foul here against Pete Michael.
Somewhat underrated as a defender. Here you see Vince using his feet really well, getting in front of Michaels, drawing that charge.
Opponents only shot 32% last year against Carter as he fires a 3 off the iron, no good.
Offensive-minded guys that scored a lot of points like Vince Carter has, they don't have a rep as a defender. But Vince Carter does a good job of the team concept of defense.
In the lane. Tomic did not exploit a size advantage that he had, but it works out with a Juan Carlos Navarro 3.
The timing of what Navarro has been able to do has really helped his Barcelona team.
No doubt. Juan Carlos Navarro, that is 4 from downtown today for Navarro. With Navarro now at 16 points. And he has lifted Barcelona back to a double-digit lead over the Mavericks. in this preseason game from Paul. You see the ball movement there by Barcelona, 94-83 as a result of that good ball movement that ends up in the corner three by Juan Carlos Navarro. And as you accurately said earlier, Harv, the timing of what he's been able to do has been very, very important today for FC Barcelona. 4 threes and a 16-point effort.
Well, Dallas gave him what his strength is, and that's catch and shoot. Defense not rotating to Navarro, and he's done an excellent job in a timely manner of stepping up, knocking down that perimeter three.
Jay Crowder back in. Haven't seen him a whole lot today. Dominic Jones has returned. This will be a third straight opportunity as Brandon Wright with a rim-rattling dunk. Third straight situation where FC Barcelona defeats an NBA team on their home floor in preseason play. Happened again against the Lakers in 2010 and against the 76ers in 2006.
They played well tonight.
Navarro with another one.
Feeling it now.
Well, it was Michael and Navarro that led the way in the win against the Lakers 2 years ago. Michael had 26 and Navarro had 25. And now both of those guys have 19 points apiece. 5 threes made today by Navarro, and Pete Michael has gone 8 of 11 from the floor, as Barcelona will end up getting a comfortable win against Dallas in this preseason contest.
He's talking about efficient. Both of those guys very efficient.
A lob and turned over. Cunningham ended up dribbling it on the end line. 44 seconds to go. The Mavs commit their 13th turnover of the game.
I'd like to see Dominic Jones make the simple play on that particular transition.
Long rebound tipped out to Brandon Wright. This has not been a very good day for Dallas on the glass. They are being out rebounded as we speak, 50-40 by Barcelona.
Well, Coach Carlisle's concerned coming into this game. He talked about it before this game, how this team needed to rebound better. And Dirk being out doesn't help that situation.
Well, it's back on a plane for a long flight home. That'll be tomorrow. Mavs are due back into Dallas after the flight from Barcelona and a refueling stop, I understand, in Maine. And then back into Dallas sometime tomorrow night, a little bit after sundown.
7:30-ish. That's what my itinerary had.
Very good. Practice on Thursday. There's an event for the fans here in Dallas at American Airlines Center Saturday afternoon, Mavstoberfest. And then back on the floor for preseason games, as we noted earlier, 6 and 12 days, starting on October the 15th. The Houston Rockets will be at American Airlines Center. And we'll have all the rest of the preseason action on TXA 21 or Fox Sports Southwest. And like everyone else, anxious to see what occurs over the remainder of the preseason, because I don't think that there is any question. Rick Carlisle knows it and the team knows it, that there is work to be done to be prepared for the games when they count starting October 3rd.
Well, this team is a work in progress, Mark. We said it after the game in Berlin. I think clearly if you watch tonight's game, you have to say the same thing, that the team just hadn't found the continuity that they need to be ready for a regular season. You alluded to more practice time. I think this team needs practice, and more practice to try and find a better rhythm as a team.
Leading three missed by Jared Cunningham, and the final score is FC Barcelona 99, Dallas 85. NBA teams end up going 6-2 against Euroleague teams here in this preseason, with the Celtics dropping 1 to Fenerbahce in Turkey last Friday, and Dallas losing today to FC Barcelona. Well, we thank our audience on NBA TV around the country and on TXA 21 here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. There will be a replay of the broadcast at 10:30 p.m. in Dallas-Fort Worth on TXA 21 as Barcelona defeats Dallas by a final score of 99-85. Next preseason game will be Monday, October the 15th against the Houston Rockets. That broadcast will be at 7:30 Central Time on Fox Sports.